Hi, so you're listening into our darling little book club. My name is Jailene Diaz. I use any pronouns, and recently I bought a magic eraser. Well, it's off-brand, but I've been going to town with it. I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have so much power. I can erase so many things.
erase reality itself.
No, just all the negativity in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. I also started my first batch of kombucha for 2022. Who are you?
I am Sonny Carpenter. I also go by any pronouns. I recently went thrift shopping and I got a typewriter.
Dork.
Yes. Those are my plans.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know something? This isn't related to the book at all, but I realize you're gonna miss my birthday, and so you gotta make that up to me somehow.
This is true. What would you like for your birthday?
I don't know.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. We read book 3, which was...
The Encounter. But I do have a note at the very top of my notes, and it's even above, the questions section.
Mm-hmm.
In book 2... it's titled The Visitor. Whomst the fuck was the visitor?
We did not get any answers to that in book 3, so I'm sorry.
I just wanted to point it out that that was a question I had when I first read the book and then never asked it. So I wanted to ask you now. I'm glad we're on the same page. We don't know.
Yeah, this is the first controversy we see in this book series, is who the visitor is.
Because it could be the original Andalite Prince. But that was in the first book, not the second book.
It's our listener. Our listener is our visitor here.
Ah, I see. Our single listener, so thank you, listener.
Thank you, our singular listener. You all became this meta individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, we'll hold your hand at the end of the year and we'll take you to Chuck E. Cheese. Except, I won't actually be there because I'm lactose intolerant, and Sony over here won't be there either. But you'll be at the Chuck E. Cheese.
No reason given. Just wanted to put that out there. Anyway, while you drink from the weirdest glass, how do you clean that?
It's with your hands.
For
It's called a flute. It's used for alcoholic beverages,
so
like champagne.
Vodka?
No.
It's clear liquid.
It's Propel.
Perfect. Great start.
It's Propel, I need.
And it's also covered in little hearts with messages on them.
Yeah, you gotta keep it classy.
Absolutely.
What happened in this book?
Well, we followed Tobias, the hawk. That's what happened in this book. No, so we really focused on, the humanity aspect of Tobias' entire character.
I know, this book was like an existential crisis in 65 pages.
Yeah, it really, really was. But anyway, I just want to bring up, again, Tobias is so queer-coded to me for so many reasons, and one of the biggest ones is that he's constantly, the way he describes things is so loving constantly that I'm like, sir? Not to assign sexualities to minors, but that was very bisexual of you, because he goes on to describe, I think, Rachel, and then he goes to describe, who's the other guy? The leader?
Marco, Jake.
Jake. He describes Jake. See, I didn't write down any character names this time. That was my own fault.
See, and now I've been able to recognize them.
Yep.
Which is such a pain. I did not think at this point in my life I would recognize these children, but now I do.
Yep. Anyway, he goes to describe Jake, and it's just as lovingly descriptive. Oh no, I think it was Marco. I don't know. Every time he describes his friends, there's so much I'm gonna describe what they physically look like, and it's gonna sound like the queerest shit ever. It's great. But anyway, Tobias starts questioning who he is, thanks to Marco, because Marco says something about what if more of us get stuck? How long do we keep fighting or whatever? And Tobias starts questioning existence, and that's what sets us on this existential crisis on page 6. And then Tobias realizes there is some shady stuff, some cloaked ship in the sky, and they discover it's in the mountains or whatever. So they go to check it out as wolves. They almost get stuck as wolves. That was horrifying.
Yep.
That description haunts me. But shenanigans happen. They make it back. Tobias goes through more existential crisis, because that's most of this book. And, I have it written down and underlined. Tobias gets edgy.
What do you mean by edgy?
Well, after he kills a rat... Sorry, there's going to be a lot of animal death in this episode. After he kills a rat, he starts to have an existential crisis of what makes him human, and starts believing that he should just let, like, the hawk take over his existence. So, that's fun. And this is right after they make a plan on how to sneak aboard the freighter and reveal it to the entire cities, therefore making it impossible to cover up and hopefully getting the U.S. military involved. Spoiler alert, none of that happens, because of course it doesn't. There's like 60 books in this series. We're on book 3. So, Tobias gets all edgy about, his existence and feeling sad, because he killed something for the very first time. And then he rediscovers his humanity right before the mission was supposed to pop off, and he's like a key member of this mission because he sees a human running through the forest being chased by a Bajir, whatever they're called, and gets freaked out. Or at first he's like, yes, predator and prey, I love watching this channel. And then he realizes, wait, that's a human person, I should care a little bit more. So he saves the human person after going on a 3-day bender, and goes back to tell Rachel about it, because apparently him and Rachel are besties, which is cute. And they actually have some baller ethical debates. I wanted to point this out because I got super into it. He talks to Rachel, which makes him feel... Oh, yeah, I just wrote baller ethical debates, thanks. Oh. This is the coolest part of the story for me, because Tobias makes a direct connection between himself and those who are being controlled by the controllers, by the Yeerks, is that he says, I know what it's like to be trapped in a form that isn't your own. And I can imagine, like, humans who are stuck under the control of the Yeerks, and the other aliens stuck under the control of the Yeerks, feel much the same way I do about their existence. They see other people making choices for their bodies and their existence that they're not making, and it's actively hurting them, just like it's actively hurting me. And I was like, this is such baller writing. Thank you for drawing direct parallels. It really brings up, like, the humanity and the stakes. Thank you. I wrote Chef's Kiss!
Yes, I mimed Chef Kiss. Oh, the parallels of our mind. Yeah. Same wavelengths.
Anyway. So, they... Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to ask you eventually, but they mentioned black bears, mountains, the reintroduction of wolves, and this amusement park / zoo. I'm narrowing in on where they live. It's gotta be somewhere in California, right?
Yeah, that's what we said. This has to be like a Californian-based area.
Right. We're just off California. Anyway, they acquire some fish DNA so that way they can sneak onto the ship that was cloaked, that's massive. They discover it's a freighter. This was earlier. They discovered it was a freighter carrying air and water back up to the ships that are in orbit around Earth. The only changes is that Visser 3 makes a personal appearance because of the human that got away earlier. So they have to change their plans a little. Tobias carries the fish version of his friends to the lake and drops them in, which is massively suspicious and obviously sets off the Bajir and human scouts that are going out and trying to find any humans in the area and telling them to leave. Tobias and the Visser figures out that Tobias is morphed and starts becoming suspicious of, like, maybe there's something going on inside the ship as well. Important note, Visser still doesn't know that they're humans, still thinks they're Andalite soldiers, which Tobias takes massive pride in. Tobias knows his friends, and the plan are in jeopardy, and he's running low on options, and he tries to destroy the ship at the wish of his friends. His friends are like, we can't be taken alive. If you must destroy the ship, we will go down with it. We will die in order to make sure our plan succeeds. They don't. It's a children's book.
But dang, the team death,
Right. They're able to skip. The other thing I wanted to say, Tobias says when he shoots this laser gun, because this is how he destroys the ship, he says there's no recoil like a normal gun would have. And I'm like, this begs the question, has Tobias shot a gun before? He's supposed to be infant-sized, like middle schooler.
Okay, but they've talked about, in this book, Star Trek and playing Doom.
Fair. You know what? That's fair. Controllers do shake. And then, this is really sad. Tobias and Rachel at the very beginning of the story free a female hawk, and that leads to Tobias having more existential crisis about where he belongs with his human friends or this female hawk that he's just met. But you know how animals are. But unfortunately, in the escape and all of that, the female hawk gets shot down and is probably killed, as far as we, the audience, knows. But the bright side is his friends escape the ship as it's breaking apart. They all fall out of, like, the thing that they were in and turn into birds and fly away, and they're all fine.
That point almost got me, like, straight up.
I know! I was like, which one of them is gonna fall to their death? But anyway. And then they had the ending that really threw me, because Tobias, like, disappears for a whole nother day and goes to visit Rachel the next day. And they talk about it, and Tobias has this, like, resolve that really got me of like, I'm not fighting because, like, because he's, the whole thing was like, oh, am I still human? And the answer's sort of yes. But he has this resolve of, like, I have to be fighting because I know more about, like, the predator-prey stuff. Like, humans are not prey, and that is something that he's, like, taking a stand in. Also, at the end, when he said, I'm a hawk, I'm a boy, my name is Tobias, that's just what I am, I was like, man, non-binary icon, huh?
Right? He also said, be happy for me. And that really, like, that one hit hard. I was like, you know what? Yeah.
I'll be happy for you. He's so freaking sweet. He's really the best character. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just keep looking at your shirt and getting jealous.
Yeah, I'm wearing a deep V with nothing under.
I know, and it's, like, the type of shirt that, like, goes from, like, a half circle into the deep V, so I'm like, best design. Anyway.
Yeah, it works with my piercing and my denim beret.
I know, I was gonna say the beret and the piercings.
And my corduroy black bottoms.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the thrift shop. I forgot to get
corduroy. Oh.
Any other pants than jeans, because I was told that I might not be allowed to go into churches if I have jeans on.
Oh yeah, that's so informal.
Anyway. So I have a series of questions for you.
Sure, can I just say my favorite quote aside from be happy for me?
Yeah.
It's, get out of our way, we're geese, and we're coming through.
That was such a good part. And then they all literally die. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of animal death in this one. Oh my gosh. And then the other one that I wanted to bring up, this wasn't really a question, but one I just wanted to... They had a moralistic debate on page 43 about killing to survive versus killing for power, and how one is okay and the other one is evil, which I think is an incredible debate to have in a children's book, especially when there's a ton of animal death.
Yeah. Not even if we're bringing it to a political stance here in 2022, in the sight of a war.
Yikes. But yeah, I don't know, I started writing down questions before we had more answers, so I'm gonna cross off the top one.
I mean, I can answer questions we already know and just be stumped about I don't actually remember the answer. And you kind of just...
No, it's the whole plot of the book. What did you think was flying in the sky above Tobias? I thought that was something that they were going to set up for later, but I forget. These are not how these books work.
No, they're like, haha, don't, stay in your form for 2 hours. Immediately stays in their form
for 2 hours? How do you feel about Tobias knowing Marco well enough to guess what he would say? Because that was the first thing that happened was, them stomping up the cars to release the female Falcon, right?
Yeah.
Or Hawk. And, Tobias kept saying Marco's just gonna be like, the very first thing Marco's gonna say is, are you insane? And the very first thing that Marco said is, are you insane?
I feel like it is a very good, like, peek at how, I want to say, like, emotionally intelligent this character is.
Yeah.
Because he's very attuned to that. But also, in page, 50, the kids accurately are rude to each other.
Yeah.
In a manner where, like, Cassie and Rachel were, like, high-fiving each other after sick burns. And I was like, yeah, these are children.
Yeah. Just anything to say to piss off Marco.
Yeah. Which is valid.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry for the Marco stands out there. I just can't see it.
Gosh, I hate how much I love his character so far, because I'm like, I can't wait to see him get better. We have, 50 books to go.
Or he could get worse.
He could get worse. That would be worse.
I would love that. Let's just make him trashy.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing about Tobias's description, too, is that he was just like, I guess girls find him cute because he has long hair and dark features and is short, so that makes him cute. And I was like, Tobias! Tobias! I think you would have questioned yourself for a minute there. It was cute. Tobias is a sweet boy. Oh, hold on.
Yeah. What do I hold on to?
I was like, I saw another question and I'm like, whatever. Oh, how do you feel the recaps? Like, how they do recaps at the beginning of the story. How do you feel that has gone pacing-wise?
I feel like it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have moments where I'm at the same, like, intelligence of a middle schooler. Yeah, you gotta spoon feed me these things.
Especially when it's been, like, a couple weeks in between us reading these books.
Yeah, I don't remember shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I also notice sometimes, a terrible thing with the readout program in the PDF is if they have it at a higher setting, they're gonna skip a couple sentences.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was like, oh, great, I have to go back and reread these couple pages.
Great. That's good to know then for e-reader people out there. Oh, okay. So, I don't know. What did you think of Marco's character in this book? Because he kind of gets, like, a front and center look for, like, 20 pages and through Tobias's eyes. Like, he's the one that's kind of the leader for a minute.
Yeah, because he became, what, like, the special wolf?
No,
that was Jake. Yeah, because he's too pissy.
Yeah, it's like, it's at the very beginning. He just has, like, a couple moments where I'm like, wow, they're really pushing Marco's character in this one. I hope he's the freaking protagonist in the next book.
Or just go back to Jake.
I'm gonna be going back to Jake, and I'm gonna be like, ugh.
Honestly, I have no opinion about Marco.
Yeah. You had no opinion about Tobias until, like, this book.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Sweet boy. Good boy.
So that being said, what did you think about Tobias's arc and then also his decisions throughout the story?
I thought it was very valid of him to just want to be like, you know what? I'm going to let the bird brain take over. This is too much for a middle schooler.
Yeah.
This existentialism, not about it. I'll just go eat worms.
Good for him.
Yeah. And
he didn't eat worms, he ate live animals.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's a bigger bird.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, spaced out for a second.
Tobias's arc and his decisions.
Okay.
I think
him returning back to, like, the team, I feel like is just part of his character. Like, he's too sweet to ever really leave.
Yeah, and then he, like, the worst part for me was him saying when he got stuck in his bird form, he had Jake write a letter to his uncle saying that he'd gone back to live with his aunt. And that it'd be a while before the two of them figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
That they realize, oh, actually, this kid is missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The neglect.
And then he said, I don't know if they'll care enough to even report it to the police, or they'll just write me off as a runaway. Like, he says this.
That is so heart-wrenching.
Yeah. And he's like, I didn't do great in school. I didn't do bad, but I was just, like, an average student. I'm like, man, your life was rough.
What a wallflower.
I know. I also love that he said Jake beat up all his bullies for him.
Yeah, that's true friendship. What an ally.
Well, because it starts with Jake being like, I don't really know this Tobias kid. All I know is I beat up the assholes who beat him up. So that's how we're, I guess, sort of friends, but I don't really know him. And now they're best buds.
And now they're best friends. Sometimes you just gotta turn into a bird to really know the character inside both of you.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I also love how, dealing Dan's bird crimes, it's like, so, like, we don't really have those problems anymore, or I would say major cities don't have that problem anymore in the year 2022, as we just use CGI for everything.
I know, other than, like, what's the fucker's name?
Tiger King or
Tiger
something?
King! I was like, he was King Tiger or some shit. Tiger King. I hate that guy so much. Anyway, but yeah, you're right, it's not really a modern issue in the United States, at least.
I mean, maybe rural towns.
Yeah, but luckily, we don't need to turn into elephants to stomp on cars to stop it. Oh, what did you think of the love confession that was not a love confession? Where Tobias is just like, hey, Rachel, I never told you. And Rachel's like, yeah, I know.
I thought that was really, really sweet.
I was like, book 3? Really?
What, you wanted this to be like a slow burn?
I love slow burn, yes.
But it just makes so much sense, especially with him, like, always coming to her window.
Mm-hmm. Going to hers more than he went to Jake's, which I thought was like, oh, from Jake's perspective, he's there all the time, but...
Yeah. Apparently not.
Apparently not. Because Rachel didn't say anything about Tobias visiting all the time.
No.
I thought that was dorky, adorable, and very soon. And what did you think of the ending? Any predictions?
Yes, the ending, where he was just like, I am human, but bird.
Yes.
I predict he will continue to be human and bird.
I was thinking about, like, for the overarching plot, not for Tobias'
personal
arc.
You mean with, like, the berserks and the...
Yeah.
Oh, obviously humans are gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete human annihilation, right?
Hey, book 4. It's...
It's impending.
It's impending.
I'm curious, because I'm like, what new things are we gonna... Because that's the thing, is we're on this trip with the kids. We don't know everything. What new things are we going to learn about them that they are going to then try and learn to sabotage? And are they going to go back to their old stuff that they tried to sabotage before but failed? Because that's the thing that I'm hoping in, like, by book 30, I'm sure they will have to go back to, like, earlier shit and try and re-sabotage that. Or do multiple strike attacks where one person's attacking the pond that they have to... I don't know what the frick it was called, but the one where they have to rejuvenate themselves, that, well, someone else attacked the ships, that way they split forces and cause confusion. I'm thinking wartime tactics right now.
I feel like they need to recruit more people.
Yeah.
Not so much like other Animorph folks, though would that be exciting if there was other Animorphs?
That's what I'm hoping. I don't think that happens, though, just from what I've heard about the books, because I've only heard, like, the main characters' names from my recollection, but I might be wrong.
I mean, they're also Anglican names.
That's true. They get so jumbled in my head.
But yeah, I would love human fleshy recruitment people to show up to this and have human vulnerability.
Yeah. I would love it for more freaking Andalites to show up, because I'm like, we've met the prince, we've met the evil guy. Now what's in between? I want to see just some Andalite soldiers, you know?
Or just another alien.
Any other alien. Oh, what if they free a Hork-Bajor and get them to fight for them?
Oh, switch sides.
Yeah. Because the Hork-Bajor were already good guys. They're just the ones that are, that were taken over by force.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking of, hopefully.
I agree to this. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got any questions for me? Got anything else you want to say?
This is a short one. This book was the shortest one we read.
Is it?
Yeah, it's 65 pages.
I thought all of them were like 60 pages.
No, the last ones were like 80.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah.
I guess we really just followed Tobias in his existential crisis, huh? Also, Marco coming through with the baseball, that was something that I lived for.
Yeah, that was intense. I like that.
Sorry, I totally in the middle of the book, way back. But, that was so good. I love all of them coming in clutch for each other. That's friendship. I just love the power of friendship trope so much, and I love seeing it in children's media so much.
I feel like you're this book series, because I did say, like, by book 3, you might have tapped out because of, like, body horror, but we're past book 3 now.
Yeah.
We're probably committed to this series now, unfortunately, for all of you.
Yeah. Unfortunate for our one listener. You're stuck here now.
Yep.
The body horror, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely skipped past whole sections to be like, it's just gonna be body horror. Because it's weird. With this writing style, they switch back so fast from body horror to and gore and stuff to plot relevant stuff and emotion related stuff. And I'm like, that's great. I can't read the scary parts.
Am I good at keeping tabs at the scary parts for you? Like, it was
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I think at this point, though, I'm just going to start skipping past it, because it does go so fast that I'm like, I don't want to be missing whole pages.
Yeah.
Because the scary parts that you did warn me about, I would read up until it's about ready to be body horror, gonna scan, and this looks like it's not body horror, try to read the sentence right before it, nope, that's body horror, okay. But then I miss like 2 or 3 sentences that are in between body horror bits, which sucks.
It's usually like, haha, you look like a dork in between shift. That's really it. It's just the kids bullying each other.
I love how honestly it's written towards middle schoolers.
Yeah, like, haha, horse face, whatever, chicken legs.
The description of them turning into fish, I was like, this is the most least body horror. Because they were like, their skin started to steal or whatever, and their eyes started bulging out, and I'm like, alright, and now it's time to skip a little.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Every time they describe tails, though, I'm like, hate it.
Yeah, that's what does it for you?
Hate it.
Awesome. Well, yeah, the dead rat is on page 36, and the first water morph with 2 exclamation points is on page 52, and it's kind of gross, for me at least.
And again, there's a lot of other animal death in this book, as well as, like, there's a couple of descriptions of Tobias killing things.
Oh, yeah. Tobias goes for blood in this book.
Our sweetest boy killer.
It's like your cat.
Oh my god.
It's just like any domesticated cat that is left out of supervision for half a minute.
Or, you know, our service dog who absolutely murders things.
Oh, yeah, Lexi does. She's a mouser.
She is. Oh my gosh. She's a good girl, but also kills things. We have to watch her. I wonder if there's anything else I wrote that was, like, important. I don't think so. Other than Tobias gets edgy. It's so funny, because I'm like, this is the type of edgy teenage, like, middle school stuff that you absolutely put yourself through.
Oh yeah, I absolutely went through a similar phase.
Where it's just like, I'm not a person.
I don't matter. And it's like, no, you do. You just go sit down and eat your Cheez-Its. You'll feel better.
Eat your Cheez-Its and drink that Capri Sun.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
You're just dehydrated, honey.
Yep. Don't worry, your hormones will balance out eventually. Still hasn't happened for me, but we're working on it.
Also, we both have mohawks right now.
I know, it's great. I'm growing mine out, actually, so I won't have one by the summer.
And then I might just get rid of mine, who knows.
Yours looks so baller, though.
I know. It's when it grows out. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do I commit to a mullet?
That's where I'm at right now. That's why I keep pulling back my hair and wearing hats constantly, because I don't want to commit to a mullet. But I have one. I'm gonna be in Italy, so I'm gonna be first day there, buy a thing of oil and just slick it back. That's how everyone wears their hair. It'll be fine.
Amazing.
I'm gonna look like such a fucking tool.
You gotta take pictures.
No.
You've gotta
take... There'll be no surviving pictures of me on this trip. Just the shit that I saw.
This is terrible. How dare you? I will twist your girlfriend's arm and see if she could get me some oiled back images of you.
There are already some that exist in the universe. I just want them burned.
I see. I will find them. I have a new mission.
And publish them everywhere.
There'll be a split second within this recording.
Nope, there will not be, because I'm the one editing these. But yeah, I just think that they did a good job with the queer coding of Tobias. I think everyone else, all the other kids are... I'm debating, because I think Cassie's going to be the next protagonist, just because we haven't gotten her yet.
Right.
We've gotten a lot of character from Marco. So I want Cassie to be the next protagonist. However, I want Marco to be the next protagonist, that way we finally get some freaking character on him. We already like Cassie.
Oh yeah, Cassie's cool. She turns into a horse.
Yep, that's her favorite. She's a horse girl. We
live with one of those.
Yep, we do. How you doing?
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. I left my phone at work, so I had a bum rush over there.
See if you had any missed messages.
I had none. No one loves me.
Aw, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I think the chat was just dead last night.
Yup. So I was like, oh man, I gotta check on chat, make sure no one cares.
Listen, we live together. If we have something to say, we'll just bother each other.
Oh yeah. That's
disgusting.
Right here?
Uh,
This one?
yep.